Hello everyone. Today we're going to be learning about multiplicative comparisons. For this notes, you're going to need to divide your paper into 4 sections. Let's start on the first section. First off, a multiplicative comparison is a statement that is comparing one thing to another using multiplication. This is where we get multiplicative comparisons, because we are comparing two things using multiplication. Now on each of these sections, I'm going to give you an example of a multiplicative comparison and what it would look like using a multiplication fact. Our first multiplicative comparison is this one. Twice as many red as there are blue. I can see here that it's telling me there are twice as many. Twice as many. Twice means 2 times. So we have 2 times something. I can see here that it says that there are twice as many red as there are blue. I have my red and I have my blue. Now it tells me that there are twice as many red. That means red has 2 of whatever blue has. So here are my 2 that red has, because red has twice. And there is my blue. Now let's say blue has 3. Then red has twice as many as the blue. That is 2 times the 3. And that would equal to 6. So here in this statement, twice as many red as there are blue, I have 6 red and 3 blue, because 6 is twice 3. Okay, let's go on to the second section for your second multiplicative comparison statement. Okay, our next statement is 3 times as many pencils as pens. Now this one is a little bit more straightforward because it tells you right there, 3 times as many. And we know that the multiplication sign can also be used using the word times. So if I have 3 times as many, I am multiplying 3 times something. Now I'm comparing here 2 things. I have 3 times as many pencils as pens. So I'm comparing pencils and pens. Now according to my statement, the pencils have 3 times as many things. So I'm going to put my pencils. These are my pencils. Pencils have 3 times. There are 3 times as many pencils as there are pens. So let's say pens have 4, then pencils have 3 times 4, and that equals 12. That tells me that there are 12 pencils because 3 times the 4, which is the pens, equals 12. Okay, on to our next section with our next multiplicative comparison. Okay, in this example, we have 4 times as many roses as there are daisies. Again, this one is pretty straightforward. It says there are 4 times as many roses as there are daisies. Here we're comparing roses to daisies. This statement tells me that roses has 4 times as many roses. 1, 2, 3, 4, as there are daisies. So let's say daisies has 5, then the roses has 5 4 times. So it's 4 times 5 equals 20, because roses has 4 times as many as daisies, and daisies has 5. So this goes on and on and on the same way, the same pattern. If I say that there are 5 times as many of one object as another, then we would use 5 times something to equal the number of the object that has the most. If I say 6 times as many, then we're using 6 times something, and on and on and on. So for this last section, we're going to see something a little bit different. So here we have half as many cats as there are dogs. Now this one is not a multiplicative comparison, but it does relate to it. So here it tells me there are half as many cats as dogs. So the word half means that we're taking whatever we have and dividing it straight into two equal pieces. So whenever you see the word half as many, the phrase, it means we're taking something and dividing it by two. Because when you cut something in half, you divide it into two equal pieces. So here we have cats and we have dogs. Now let's say we have 10 dogs. If we have half as many cats, then we have less cats than there are dogs. If I take 10 and divide it by 2, that gives me 5. Therefore, I have 5 cats because 5 is half of 10. And it says I have half as many cats as I do dogs. So now that you have your notes on the multiplicative comparisons, they should look something like this, showing what each of those statements means. Twice as many means 2 times, 3 times as many means 3 times, 4 times means 4 times, and half as many means to divide it by 2. Be prepared to discuss and use this in your next problem solving.